Every time I make a video about how important cover letter is for getting a job in Germany, there are always people in the comments like, man, who's going to read it? I'm sick and tired of writing those. It's useless, blah, 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 blah. Well, those people also don't have a job in Germany. So here I'm going to tell you why it's so important and also some points on how to write it. When a company is interviewing you, what is the number one thing they're looking for? Is it your hard skills, your soft skills, your degree, your past recommendations? No, it is your motivation. Why is motivation so crucial? Because if you're motivated to work for a company, you're going to put in the hard work. You're going to put in the extra effort to learn all the hard or soft skills that you're missing. If you're motivated, if you're in love with the company, in love with the job, you're going to ask less from your employer. You know, any salary raises, any disputes, it's going to be an easier time for them. And if you're motivated, you're going to stay at a company for a long time. What is so important, because recruiting is expensive and companies want to keep you for, 10, 20, 30 years as long as possible. And cover letter is honestly the only way to show your motivation that you can control 100%. You cannot control how the interview goes. Can you convey your interest and motivation on that day? I'm not sure, but cover letter, you have full control. You can take the time, you can write it so the recruiter or the hiring manager or the HR, they're going to see it, they're like, hey, this person really wants to work for a company. We better interview them. So if you're not getting interviews in Germany, cover letter is one of those biggest things that you need to implement ASAP. And writing a cover letter was one of the largest pillars of success for when my job search in Germany skyrocketed. And very important, you have to write a new cover letter every time. I write mine from scratch in 90% of the cases. Maybe if the positions and the companies are very similar, let's say you're applied to consulting at Big Four, so EY, PwC, Deloitte, KPMG, maybe then you can use a similar cover letter, just tweak it. But otherwise, I really write it from scratch. And now, how do you actually write it? So the first step for writing a cover letter is to actually be motivated. You have to apply for jobs and positions that you're excited to work for. That's how you're going to write an amazing cover letter. That was also the secret for me. Don't apply for jobs that you think you're qualified for but have no interest in working. It's going to be a really hard time writing a good cover letter. And the first step is actually going deep inside of you and think, hey, why do I like this company? Why do I want to work there? Do I have connection? I was applying to a company where my parents worked. You know, it's a company associated with trains. My dad, he would tell me all about trains when I was a child. We were in the subway and he's like, hey man, this is this and that and that. And that's what I wrote in my cover letter because I was listening to it all my childhood and I got inspired. So first step is finding your motivation. What is the second step? Second step is going to that position and looking for the most important 3-4 skills that they ask for in the job description. And then you make your cover letter 3-4 paragraphs plus a small introductory and a small closing paragraph, but the main paragraphs are where you tell how the skills that they want actually fit with your experience. And you have to intertwine your deep motivation from point 1 also somewhere there between the lines. And what is the point 3? And it might be the most important one. Point 3 that you have to point out not only why you want to work there, but also why they need you and how you're going to be helpful. Everyone thinks about their own needs and so other companies. So when they read the cover letter, they don't only care that you're going to be like, hey, I want to do this, I want a high salary, I want to work on cool things, blah, blah, blah. They want to see how are you going to help them. And they want to see it on 2 levels. They want to see it first on the content side, right? Like how are you going to solve the problems that they're facing? How are you going to help Google become the new superpower in the AI age, etc., etc., etc. But they also want to see it on a human side. How are you going to contribute to the human aspect? Are you going to be a great team player? If you're a manager, are you going to manage the people effectively? They want to have a nice person, especially in Germany, to work with. This human aspect is incredibly important. A 4th piece of advice, if you're applying to German corporate, in 99% of the cases, write your cover letter in English. And I wrote a German one and I never needed it. And of course, you cannot have an excellent cover letter, but a trash CV. So if you want a really great CV template that I personally use, plus my 20-page CV guide for German market specifically, link in bio, currently in discount. Cheers, my friends.